Hello all, Jamie Rodgers here from Craftmania, and today we are introducing you to a brand new die of the week, and I have a little cheeky special offer to share with you as well that you might wish to take us up on too. But before we delve into our die of the week and our cheeky special offer, let's not forget, pop on and click subscribe and tap the bell to be notified of all of our future videos here on our YouTube channel. And of course, if you're watching us on a different platform, then please make sure that you are, of course, following that page or that platform so that you don't miss out on anything that we have going on here at Craftmania. Truly, there is so much happening behind the scenes. There's always lots going on, and we'd hate you to miss any of it. So, today's die of the week, we are bringing you an incredible deal. We have got for you a striplet die by Sue Wilson. Now, this is our second striplet die that we have brought to you as a die of the week. The last one did incredibly well, and we went through literally hundreds of them. And this one has been doing the same already throughout the week. And now I think we're dropping this video showing you all of the inspiration in one place. I have a feeling we're going to struggle to keep this one in stock. So if you like the look of it, don't dilly-dally, go get your hands on it as soon as you can. Now, this is an incredible offer. It should be $10.99, but the offer price for this week's die of the week is just $4.99. So we like to do this as many times as we can. We are spending less than we are saving, meaning you're saving more than you're spending, something along them lines. It means you're getting a bargain. And it also means that you're only 1 penny away from going over our £5 threshold to qualify for free UK P&P. Because anytime you spend over £5 with us at Craftmania, you're going to receive that free UK P&P offer. Now, if you do live elsewhere, of course you can shop with us. We send stuff all around the world every single day, and today is no exception. Our P&P for international customers is capped at just £10. So it doesn't matter what you spend, what you buy, the most you will spend is £10 on your postage and packaging. If it costs more than £10 to ship it to you, which being honest, about 99% of our parcels do when they're going internationally, here at Craftmania, we will actually pay that extra for you. If it is less than £10, which is rare, but if it is, we'll actually refund the difference to you. So literally the most you can ever pay to have this sent to you anywhere in the world is £10. And of course, that isn't just for the die of the week, that covers all 10,000 items we stock at Craftmania. Now, before we delve into looking more at this week's die of the week and that other offer I mentioned we was going to look at, lots of samples to share with you. Before we do that, let's tell you where you're going to find all of these goodies we're going to be talking about. Pop onto the website, www.craftmaniacrafts.com. And because we're looking at a die of the week, you'll see a little tab on the menu bar that says die of the week. If you give that a click, it will go through and you'll see a picture of this week's die of the week. Click that and it will open up into a big page sharing with you all of the bits we're talking about. So your cards will be on there, your colours of cardstock, the stamps we're going to be talking about, anything I've used basically to create the samples that we're going to be looking through will be on that one page. So if you fall in love with a flower, a petal, a leaf, anything at all, head onto that page and it'll all be there for you. And we do this intentionally because, as I mentioned, we stock over 10,000 items at Craftmania and we don't want you to have to go searching. If you fall in love with a flower on one of these cards, we like to keep it easy. Equally, if you fall in love with these cards and you would like to save the pictures of the cards that we're going to be sharing with you, we share them every day on our Craftmania Facebook page at 2 p.m. So you can log on and be able to save the pictures from there or zoom in and look at them in more detail if you'd like to. So let's get on with it, shall we? Let's have a little bit look at this actual die set. So again, 8 dies in this one, giving you so many options. So let's bring them in so you can see them. And when you think about that, 8 dies and the die set is only $4.99. Of course, that's way less than £1 per item, which when we're talking about dies is a huge saving. And this die, like all Sue Wilson dies, has lots and lots of options. So if we bring in the different components, you can see them. And then we'll talk a little bit about why you might want these as separate items. What we have for you is we have the outside edge. Now this means that we can cut this as an aperture into our cardstock and then sink items below them. We can use it and just create a frame with it. It also means that the main filigree panel doesn't have an outside edge attached to it. it's going to be used with this separate edge. And that again gives us quite a few options. It means that we can take this one and we can place it on the inside of this panel. We're going to be able to cut it out and we'll have it as a freestanding item. It also means that because of this one doesn't have an edge attached to it, we can cut that into our cardstock and this will actually stay in place but create this sort of filigree fan-esque style around our diamonds. Then from there, we have the middles to our diamonds. Now we have two different options again here. We have got them as cutouts, and then we have them as cut-in filigree panels. So straight away, this means we can bring these in and we can cut those out as apertures. Now, of course, if you've chose to cut that into your card as you see it here, and then create little aperture windows, that's going to stay in your card front. If we bring in this outside edge, it's going to cut out as a separate panel, and you're going to cut these out as separate little windows. You might wish to cut one as solids and then one with windows and layer them on top of each other so you've got frames to work within, maybe stamp on, add flowers to, whatever you wish to. Gives you different options. Of course, because of these are separate, we could also cut them out, and if we could leave that one with solids, cut these out and then foam pad them or layer them on top of them areas instead, or maybe even put them in the middle points to break that pattern up and create a different effect. Then on top of that, you've got 3 filigree panels which go inside the squares. So of course, it means that we can cut those out. We can layer these on top of those ones if we wish to. It also means that we can bring these in and cut them directly into these panels instead to make that background panel even more filigree. And we can choose where we're going to be placing these too. So you might wish to put them towards the top of the openings and create more of like this diamond effect, looks very Art Deco. You might choose to cut them to the tops and going around on that side, or of course you can cut them into the centres, and of course you can pick what way you want those lines to be working within there. So many options between these 8 dies, and of course we're talking very much about doing all or nothing. You might prefer to build up the middle one, cut out the side ones. You might wish to cut these and actually layer them to create more of a lattice instead. There are so many ways you're going to be able to play around with these, build them up and create different effects. Now today I have for you 7 different cards, and on the 7 different cards, not only are we focusing this week on our die of the week, we also have for you a very cheeky stamp bundle. Now our stamp bundle launched this week at Craftmania, and to be honest with you, we did a live on our lovely group, on our Facebook group, which is called Create with Craftmania and Jamie Rodgers, and we did a live and we launched the bundle, and I made a couple of cards on the live and we had a little chat through them. And to be honest with you, I was meant to stop playing with these at that point, but then I started playing with the die of the week and I was like, hang on a minute, these go with that so well, I'm going to just carry on playing with them. Now I'd already sent back to the store my set to show you that I hadn't used, so please excuse if these look a bit mucky. These are actually my ones that I've already taken out of stock for me to play with, and I'm not giving them back. They're mine now. They're sticking with me. So they are a bit dirty. They're the ones literally that I've been stamping with, but it will show you the bundle. So we've got this cool handbag with little high heels, sunglasses, bows, flowers, lipstick, makeup, different bits going on in that one. In this one, we've got this really cool hat box with flowers that can be built up going around it. This little vase that you can use on its own, obviously, or add into your pictures. This one, which I think is probably my favourite one, our mannequin set, which gives you a mannequin to stamp and then the dresses to dress up and put on top of it. We've got little bows, wording, just because, sister, beautiful, coat hangers, mirrors, lipsticks. Then we've got our perfume set, so a couple of different perfume bottles, some pearl necklace sort of decorations, flowers, and scent with love as a little expression. And this is a separate bundle, completely separate from the die of the week, but one you might wish to add into your basket. This should be £39.96. Our offer price for this collection is £16.99. So once again, you are spending less than you're saving, because you're saving approximately £23 and spending £16.99. And of course, this is going to qualify once again for that free UK P&P, whether you choose to purchase it with the die of the week or of course on its own. It's over £5, so it will qualify for that free UK P&P, and once again qualify you for your cap £10 international P&P if that's something you would prefer to shop with if you're international. So those are, of course, A6 clear stamps that work brilliantly with our die of the week. So let's show you what we can be creating with the two used together. So here's our first card. Bringing in the die of the week, using the filigree cuttings to do the panel below, leaving them out and cutting out the squares for the top ones, and then adding in the decorations underneath with the pink cardstock and adding the flowers onto the top here. The flowers are actually our classic poinsettia die set, but I feel if we focus in on these sort of more starburst styles or daisy styles, that works all year round and works quite nicely with the flowers that you're going to see with that sort of same point running through them on the hat box stamp. So I've gone for a small card this time, cut down the front to create my little effect here, built this up with foam tape, and then on the inside I've stamped and added in the hat box stamp, coloured with alcohol markers. Also brought the colouring with the alcohol markers onto the pearls to go into the middle of the flowers to try and tie in the outside of the card with the inside of the card and bring it all together. That's card number one. Card number two, showing you how you can build up your backgrounds. So this time we've used Die of the Week all together. So as such, these pieces cut out of white cardstock. Then I've cut just the back panel from blue cardstock and put the two together. Then I've brought in these and cut these from blue cardstock and foam padded them on top. So we've got three different elements here, all being brought together, and this is our seashell blue card and our polar white card being layered. Repeating that 3 times to make up the background. On the front here, I've used the outside panel to keep to the same sizes as the background to cut the white panel, which I've then stamped on with the mannequin set from in our stamp bundle. I've then cut the dress out and layered that on the top, and again added the little bow on top of that as well. I love this mannequin set. I think there's a lot that could be done with that. And I also really like it without the dress. It's actually a really pretty stamp because you've got the sort of the fretwork and styling and building, a little flower detail actually running throughout that stamp too. Really like that. That bundle is one I just feel I'm going to go back to time and time again. Then if we look at the next card, so coming on to card 3, this time very similar. Excuse me, sorry. This time very similar. What I've done is I've taken these 3 bits and the other 2 elements, of course, and cut those out to create little windows. And then I've taken those out and cut this out, and then I've stamped onto it to make my little panels instead. Please excuse me, coughing all over you. So onto those little windows, I've stamped my little pieces, I've coloured them with alcohol markers, and I've foam padded them together to make those little pop-ups. I've also foam padded the back panel on, so there is also a little height difference between our first filigree panel with the stamping and our second layer with just the filigree panels cut into them. Around the edge, I've gone for the handbag and shoes and stamped those, and of course used different sets for the different elements found throughout the windows. Again, showing you why I felt this set really teamed in so brilliantly between the Die of the Week and standalone on its own stamps. Just found that worked nicely. I've used the same alcohol markers that I've coloured in the pictures with to do the edges of my card so everything coordinates together. Moving on to our next card. So this time, very similar to the first one I shared with you, I've used these 2 pieces and I've cut that out of white card. I've then done just the back panel on its own and I've foam padded that together. I've then taken the little window and I've cut that 3 times from white card and stamped onto them the nail polishes and the little face powders as such. Coloured those in with alcohol markers and foam padded them onto the tops of the areas. On the inside of the cards, a little reveal again this time. This time we have got, once again, the dress stamped and coloured on top of the mannequin. So it really shows you how you can go to town with decorating that up, whether you want it on the inside of your card or on the outside of your card. It just kind of works together in all directions. Then moving on to our next card. So this time something slightly different. I've brought in one of our foiled inkable panels and I've taken the filigree panel from the die set, which is just this part on its own, and I've actually cut that directly into the panel as you see it. I've foam padded the panel onto some black card, so the black card shows through in the openings, and then I've brought in these different pieces. So I've cut these pieces from gold card to make the 3 backings, which I've foam padded on, and then I've brought in the little sort of candy stripe pinstripe style piece, and I've cut that on the inside from black cardstock and then stuck those on top of the gold elements so that you've got that 2-tone effect. I really like this because it's a subtle way of bringing the gold in to match in with the frame, and then I've stamped on the side here our perfume bottle, and I've used a gold gel pen to just add in a few dots and dashes around the actual perfume bottle to again complement the gold that is found throughout the frame, the Die of the Week, and of course the mats and layers. Then moving on to probably the easiest card I've created for this week's Die of the Week. This is a proper little C6 card, and I've taken the main filigree panel, I've cut that directly into the card blank itself. I've brought in the 3 little squares, I've cut them out and stuck those on flat, and I've stamped that lovely little vase flower, which you're going to find within the hat box set of stamps, and I've stamped it just as you see it and coloured that in with some alcohol markers. Now, of course, there is a opportunity to put a matching colour coming through from inside that card blank to coordinate with your flower, but actually I quite liked it just left, and then having the ability to sort of get that sneaky look onto the inside of the card. But there's loads of ways you could dress this up and change it around. You could certainly put a backing panel behind that if you would prefer, or maybe some acetate or some vellum, something along them lines, if you'd like to make more of a screen style look to it. And then on to our last card, our 7th card. Oh, if I can keep hold of it. This is our 7th card, and this one was showing you more how we can build this up to make a background again. Even if we're going to cover the majority of it, it's still really nice to have this sort of filigree poking through from behind our main panel. So for this one, I have taken these pieces. I've also brought in all 3 squares, and I've favoured the top of the aperture to cut that into. And I've done that on all 3 of them, cut that out from our polar white cardstock. I've then cut the backing panels from our raven black cardstock, and I've placed them behind each of the panels. I've padded them onto the card blank even, and I've put some black card onto it, and again I've coloured in around the edges of this one with the same colour alcohol markers I've used to colour in my stamped images. Even the ribbon, which is something I had never done before, but I really wanted some ribbon with a bit of glitz, so I used our Lurex edged ribbon. This was the white one with the silver Lurex to it, but I didn't want it white, I wanted to bring in some colour. So I used the alcohol markers that I'd coloured in the shoes with and gone over the ribbon on both sides. I did have to colour both sides to get a good coverage, but it's actually coloured the whole ribbon really nicely, not coloured the Lurex thread, which is quite nice. So we've still got that metallic shimmer coming through, which matches in quite nicely with the Stardust Jelly Glaze pens, which I've put some detailings into my stamped image with. So we've got a little bit of glitz and a little bit of shimmer running through from the stamped images onto our lovely ribbon as well. And that gives you 7 ideas on what you could be creating, not only with our die of the week, but of course with our stamp bundle as well. So if you would like to go for the die of the week, once again, pop on to www.craftmaniacraft.com, have a little look under die of the week, and you will see our Prism striplets die set, and it is reduced currently to £4.99, down from £10.99. And of course on that same page will be your stamp bundle as well. So if you'd like to get your hands on this bundle, this should be £39.96, but is reduced to just £16.99. And of course, anytime you spend over £5 with us here at Craftmania, you're going to qualify for free UK P&P. But if you prefer to shop with us internationally, then of course your P&P is capped at just £10. If you'd like to see these cards in more detail, please don't forget to check out our Facebook page, which is Craftmania, and then you can see these being posted at 2 p.m. every day. And if you do purchase anything from Craftmania and get creative with it, we would love you to join our group so you can share with us what you've been making, which is Create with Craftmania and Jamie Rodgers. It's a closed group, so just fill in the details, nothing heavy, it's completely free, no real sort of trickery to it. It's just questions like what's your favourite brand and what type of card making do you like doing and bits like that. But just answer the questions, 3 questions, nothing taxing, and you'll be submitted to join our group, and then we'll accept you as long as you've ticked the boxes, answered the questions, and then you can share with us what you've been making. You can also ask us questions, and you can see what our design team have been up to, and you'll see lots and lots of posts from fellow crafters as well. So if you haven't already become a member of that group, we'd love to see you in there. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.